before we discuss today's topics, we would like to introduce ourselves. My name is Salvaditya Tama.
My name is Anandhika Maheswara.
Yeah. So the both of us are going to talk about a really interesting topic. What is it, like?
Okay, so it's Disney's intercultural communication. So we would like to bring awareness of how Disney, they can communicate with their movies, they can communicate with other cultures. So not just entertain one culture, such as a movie that is based on like American culture. They can entertain and send messages to other cultures, basically.
Yeah. So basically, they're using a form of communication that's called intercultural communication. That was mentioned by Dhika. It's basically a form of communication that aims to share information across different cultures and social groups. So by that, Disney specifically creates that their movies based on specific cultures, such as Mulan, right? Is based on a traditional Chinese culture, and then there is.
Should we just go through the movie one by one?
Yeah.
Okay, so Mulan is like it's based on like Chinese culture.
Yeah.
And especially with like the latest movie, where like I think every cast is like almost Asian, and like I think that sends like a big message to Asian audiences.
Yeah.
You know,
I guess Asian audiences will feel a sense of connection, right? They will like, oh, that's my culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Their culture on a world class level movie studio. You get what I mean, right?
Yeah, because like for your culture to be represented in such like a big company like Disney, like that means a lot.
Yeah.
You know, especially for like young Asian girls.
Yes.
You know, that see Mulan like that. Like they will be like really inspired and really touched.
As they show that the Mulan character is a strong main female role, and they probably have an aim to, as you say, young female girls in China to be inspired by her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and then there is Aladdin, right?
Actually, I want to talk about the. You mentioned like the young girls like that.
Yeah.
There's also another movie that inspires young girls from a specific culture, and that's Princess and the Frog.
I see. I've watched that.
Yeah. Like that also inspired like young black girls to have the dream of their own, just like in the movie.
The Princess.
And I think that also like, especially at that time, was like a new, like in the entertainment industry, was like a new aspect, like to the black culture to be introduced in a movie like that.
Not only the black culture, right? They also promoted the New Orleans culture, their jazz culture.
Yeah, specifically, the New Orleans.
So watching the movie from another perspective is really interesting. Just besides the main story, you can see, oh, this is the actual culture of New Orleans. So very interesting.
And they're still doing it with their latest movie, Soul.
Oh yeah.
Because like not just jazz, like there's like a lot of jazz in the movie. One of the main kind of things that the main character inspires to be is like this jazz musician.
Yeah,
which is important in black culture. They also do like small things like the haircuts and like the like how they talk.
the
Like they
detail
promote, like they promote stuff like
detail you put into these movies are really well done,
yeah,
especially when promoting another culture. Yeah. So
because like it may not like it may not mean as much to us
yeah,
watching it, but like to like the culture that they are representing, I think that means it's gonna mean a lot.
it could even be like life changing in a way for their local community. Because I've seen
Yeah, yeah,
some
absolutely.
reviews and they looked at it as something game changing and really different from the
Oh,
previous.
really?
Yeah. Like especially the message they're trying to put, it's something really
Oh,
different
yeah.
from their previous movies, and it's not only targeted for like young kids. Like there are many adults that I heard that cried watching this movie. So
Oh, yeah,
yeah,
definitely.
yeah. So really different
Um,
target. Yes.
okay, so another one is you mentioned before Aladdin,
Yeah.
right?
Aladdin.
Yeah, Aladdin is another one that's centered on Arabic culture.
True.
I think that's also similar to Mulan, like
Yeah.
to be like I don't see a lot of Arabic culture like in a lot of like
Yeah.
mainstream movies.
Yeah. True. True.
So and it also is gonna like benefit Disney in like uh, expanding their audiences
Yeah. True.
and selling their merchandise all over the world, right?
Yeah. So they have huge international exposure from these movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can create a specific merchandise for maybe in the Chinese area, in the Middle East. So yeah, I can say like they're creating icons for each specific area. Like these are really well-known characters, like from all over the world, right?
Yeah.
And yeah, it's pretty cool what they're doing. Really, really something not easy to replicate. As you can see, there's no other movie studios that are doing this, right?
Yeah, like probably Disney is like one of the only like few that does it.
Yeah,
Maybe like to this extent, to this diversity, to this
yeah.
amount of diversity.
Showing this diversity and reaching the mainstream. That I think that's
Yeah,
I think only Disney can do that. They're the only one that has the power and the ability to do that. Yeah,
it also affects like how like they bought Marvel
yeah,
in recent years, right?
yeah,
And like that also kind of affects how Marvel does their cinematic universe.
yeah. True.
Um, like there's this um, version of another version of Miss Marvel,
Yeah,
which is Muslim, and like she's been around for a long time, but now she's just been introduced to
this
the
cinematic universe.
the cinematic like universe, and like I think also in the games. I
Yeah,
saw her. I saw her in like one of the games.
I see. In the new games or the old ones?
Yeah, the new games.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Yeah, even Marvel, ever since they were bought by Disney, they're starting to get affected by the Disney culture, right? They're starting to show diversity, and
Yeah, yeah.
one of the most uh, uh, popular examples is probably Black Panther, right? 1 billion
Black
in
Panther. Yeah,
this, and Black Panther is probably one of the best examples now, as I saw many uh, popular figures from the Black community that reached out to the CEO of Disney, showing their appreciation of what they did for the community by creating that movie. So it shows a lot the
yeah,
effect. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah,
Because like there was only a few like black superheroes that came out before Black Panther. Like Black Panther was like the huge,
Yeah.
it's like the largest movie.
So hard.
With like
Top one.
which is focused on the black culture.
Yeah.
So yeah. What else? I think there was like another TV series that Marvel did.
What is that?
It's called. Wait, let me look it up.
Yeah, you should.
It's also it's Asian culture. It's like Iron Fist.
Oh, I forgot the name.
Oh, it's Shang-Chi. Yeah, it's a movie.
Yeah.
Shang-Chi and the Legend.
So what is it based
Like, this is like the first Asian superhero, man.
Really?
Right? Is it?
I think so. Shang-Chi.
Except, like, Iron Fist maybe like was the closest thing you got to like
Yeah.
superhero.
But Shang-Chi is it's. I'm actually reading it right now. Their first Asian-led film by Marvel Studios. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings. Yeah. that shows another example by them.
So
like, do you think? I want to ask you something. Sorry to cut you.
Okay.
Like, do you think they would make these movies if Disney didn't buy them? These more diverse type of movies like Black Panther, Shang-Chi, Miss Marvel, the Miss Marvel, the other Miss Marvel. I mean,
to be honest, I don't think so, because like Marvel's been doing this for a long time, and it's just happening now.
Yeah, true.
Like it may be a coincidence, but I don't think so. Because like just the amount of culturally diverse movies and themes that Disney has done, and it just so happens that Marvel is doing it now after they bought Disney.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I don't think they would have made those movies if Disney doesn't have a say in it.
They probably thought it was too risky, probably. Too risky, as it was
maybe
popular, right? Wasn't something normal. So, yeah. I think you covered all of them, yeah, Dick. I think so.
Yeah.
Did we?
What do you think? Like, why do you think? Like, what are the benefits aside from like the expanding the merchandise? Like, what are the benefits for both Disney and the audience? Like, what do you think?
Just long-term connectivity from the audience and the brand, as it's something intangible, right? The connection between the audience and the brand is it's it has huge value for the long term. Like these let's say a family in Indonesia, in our country, we don't need to give an example from China. There are some kids that watch Mulan, let's say the new Mulan, and just they get inspired, and they pass it through their children later, and in a way that benefits Disney a lot, as it will give them a longevity for their company's success, right? So that's what I think.
Which is probably why they're so successful, right?
Yes, that's true.
Because their audience is so it's so huge, it's so it's so wide. Like they appeal to so many wide audiences. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, from old people, like everybody. That's what Disney special probably. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So overall, this was a really interesting topic. Is there something we haven't covered, Dick? I think
that's it.
Yeah. So thank you for listening to our debut podcast, guys. It was a pleasure, Dick, to have you on this podcast. Yeah. Do you have anything to say, Dick, before we close it out?
Um, I just like to say, like, it's like Disney is one of my favorite um, movie companies, and I've been watching their movies since like forever.
Yes.
And it's just interesting to just know how you can communicate that that way and that in such a huge way through movies. Like when you talk about communication, you usually only consider like how you advertise stuff or how people talk in the news or in social media, and like you can communicate huge stuff with movies too.
Yeah. True.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's it, I guess.
That's it. So, yep.
Yeah.
Once again, thank you guys for listening to this podcast. Hope to see you guys on another episode of this podcast, guys. Thank you.